time, I'd like to call the meeting to order. This regular city council regular session, May 27th, 2025. We do have a certification of a quorum. We do have two council members absent. Mr. Councilman Koblenz and Councilman Hancock are out. But we can move forward. At this time, I'd like to pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. In the spirit of freedom and the love of our common God, let us unite for the service of mankind and the betterment of this community. Let us be thankful for all that God has given us and always be mindful of the inherent worth and dignity of every person. Amen.
Amen.
All right, this time we're going to move into public comments. At this time, any person with city-related business not scheduled on the agenda may speak to the City Council in compliance with the Texas Open Meetings Act. The City Council is limited to making a statement of specific factual information in response to the inquiry or reciting existing policy, but may not discuss, deliberate, or take any action on any item. Each speaker will be limited to 3 minutes. The issue may be placed on a future agenda for consideration. And at this time, we don't have any public comments. So we'll move on to item number 5, approval of the consent agenda.
Mayor, I move we adopt the consent agenda.
I'll second that.
We've got a motion and a second. All in favor? All opposed? Motion passes. Okay, thank you. And now we will move into item number 6, consideration of the action. Number 1, FY24 audit, fiscal year 24 single file audit and fiscal 23 restated single file audit.
And John Watson's in the audience to give you a brief presentation on this year's audit. Just a reminder, we met with the Finance Committee just before this meeting. We reviewed the audit in depth and made him available for any questions regarding the audit. So he will be providing a brief overview, but the audits are provided to you at your stations and will be available on our website. Floor is yours.
Great, thank you, Courtney. Thank you, council. Appreciate the opportunity to be here. My name is John Watson. I'm with the audit firm Brooks, Watson and Company. We serve as the independent auditor for the city, and we completed the audit over the year ended September 30, 2024, and that's what I'm going to go over with you today. In front of y'all have the bound report, so that's your annual report. And inside that report, if you flip it open, there's a handout of this presentation, as well as a couple letters I'm going to touch on at the end. Quick overview of the audit process. The audit was conducted consistently with U.S. GAGAS, that's Generally Accepted Government Auditing Standards. It's a 3-phased approach. The first phase is planning. We look at current year results, we compare them to prior year and to our expectations. We try to focus on areas we find most susceptible to risk of error fraud. It's a risk-based approach. Fieldwork is where we test those results. We draw samples, vouch to underlying evidence, confirm balances with third parties. Where there are differences, we determine as to why and propose audit adjustments. And that's the conclusion reporting phase. We propose those adjustments and help prepare the reports you all have in front of you, as well as a couple letters. The report itself, it's an annual comprehensive financial report, so it provides all the information the city can provide. There are 7 sections to it. Introductory section, it's got your letter of transmittal from management, describes forward-looking information for the city, as well as some backward information. Audit opinion, so that's from us, your independent auditor, describes if the financials are consistent with U.S. GAAP, or if there are any modifications. We'll look at that on a slide to come. Management's discussion and analysis follows that. That shows current year results, prior year, explanations over changes year over year. And then we've got your numbers, basic financials. Those are presented on 2 different bases of accounting. Government-wide statements, which has all your long-term debt, capital asset activity, and then your fund level statements, which is modified accrual, closer near-term look at your results. Back of your report, we've got your pension schedules. And we have your statistical section, so that's a good place to look at 10-year trend data, where the city was and is now, and see where it's come. That's everything within that report. So I mentioned the audit opinion. There's 4 types of opinions you could receive. Unmodified is the best here, indicated in green, and then it gets progressively worse from there. The good news, the city's receiving an unmodified opinion, so that's the highest level of assurance the CPA can provide. Basically means there are no material errors or inconsistencies in this report we're aware of, so that is a good thing. Slide here. Couple highlights for you. Again, this is September 30, 24, and the year ended the same, so keep that in mind. First bullet, total assets exceeded total liabilities by about 23.1 million. City had an overall decrease in net position for the year around 1 million. Third bullet, city's governmental funds reported a combined ending fund balance of about 8.6 million, which was an increase of about 2,157,000. Last bullet, unassigned fund balance in your general fund is 3,745,035, which is about 29% of your annual general fund expenditures, so close to 3 months there of reserve. This is a pie chart for your governmental activities. Look at your revenues and where they're coming from. Total governmental revenues in the current year was 13,224,000. Prior year was 13,664,000. So slight decrease year over year. Property taxes make up 34%, 4,531,000. Prior year, 33%, 4.5 million. Sales taxes make up 42%, about 5.5 million. Prior year was 39%, close to 5,339,000. Grants made up 2%, 274,324. Compared to prior year, it was about 1.1 million. So decrease there year over year. So just a look at your expenses, just on the governmental side here. Total governmental expenses were 15,656,000. Prior year was 13.7 million approximately. Your largest functions for expenses, public safety makes up 49%, 7,642,000. Prior year, it was about 6.1 million. Public works, 3,025,000 at 19%. Prior year, 2,955,000. General government at 18%, about 2.8 million, down from prior year, which was 2,948,000. Parks and recreation make up 8%, 1,315,000. Prior year, it was a little over $1 million. Okay, so this is a look at your governmental funds. So that was kind of government-wide. This is that other modified accrual basis of accounting is the method here. Got your general fund on the left. That's where the majority of your activity occurs, and then some other special revenue funds to the right, debt service fund, capital projects funds, and then aggregate of some other special revenue funds here.
John, may I point out that the net change in fund balance on that general fund is largely attributable to Hurricane Beryl. You've recovered 1.56 million of that, so you're sitting at 5.4 right now. It was a timing issue. Beryl occurred in July, and we received the funds in the current fiscal year, which is not covered under this audit.
Yeah, so this, this covers 9/30/24, so just circled in red there the changes there, and then Courtney provided some update on more current information.
I didn't want you to see the 1.8 and wonder what happened. Or the 1.7.
This slide here is a summary of your general fund budget to actual. If you go to page 95, it has the details for these. We can see your final budget on the left here, and then actual results in the middle, and then a budget variance in the right column. So after all budget amendments, you're budgeting a deficit of 1,296,000. Actual was 1,795,000. So your revenues were under budget by 401,168. Property taxes and sales taxes came in under budget. Expenditures were over budget by 322,648. So these fed into the negative overall budget variance there of close to 500,000. Okay, so that was all the governmental activity side. This is business type activities or proprietary funds. You've got 2 proprietary funds, your utility fund and your emergency EMS as well. So look at revenues at the top, operating expenses below that, and then operating income. So both funds are generating income. And we've got some non-operating expenses and revenues, and just circled here for you overall net income before transfers out. So we can see about 1,307,000 and 105,000 for those 2 funds. So they're operating at surplus, which is consistent with our expectations here. And then some transfers out to the governmental funds. All right, so that's kind of the whole look. And then I mentioned toward the back of the report, there's some schedules. This is a summary look at the last 4 years on your net pension liability. There's 10 years on that page, 96 and 97, if you want to look at the last 10 years. The most current year is bottom left here, $6,149,355. So that is your current net pension liability. Prior year was $7.9 million. So we have improvement by the liability decreasing year over year. Significant contributor there was your net investment income. So you got about a little over 10% return on pension assets for the year. It's $3,583,911, which is just about 6 rows above there. So your funded position is 85%. All right, so the asset is 85% of the total pension liability. Average nationwide in the same year was about 78%. So you're a little above the nationwide average. Your contribution rates last 2 years were 14.62% and 14.42%. So that's percentage of payroll. That's where you're feeling it in the budget. So that's what you contribute as an employer. All right. So that's all the information over numbers I want to go over, kind of general overview of the audit. In addition to that, I mentioned there's 2 letters, and those are here. The first letter, a lot of standard communications. Audit was conducted in compliance with all ethics requirements regarding independence. We're completely independent of the city. No difficulties were encountered in dealing with management. They were responsive to our requests, as has been the case every year we've audited, so we're appreciative of that. No uncorrected misstatements, so everything we identified and proposed to them, they've adopted and recorded those adjustments. Those adjustments are listed in that letter. So if you look at the back of the letter, those are all the proposed audit adjustments. And the second letter, that goes over internal control items. So we do a lot of walkthroughs of your processes and controls. As we identify things, we put those in the letter, make suggestions, and leave them at y'all's will to do what you will with them. So that's everything I wanted to share. With that, if you have any questions, happy to address them. Thank you.
Mayor, no action is required. You are just required to receive this tonight.
Okay. Well, I'd like to thank Mr. John Watson for preparing this and getting back to us and get it all taken care of. And like City Manager Courtney said, Finance Committee meeting met before this meeting here, so we didn't see nothing out of the ordinary or nothing. Did a good job, appreciate it, and nice presentation.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Safe travels.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, at this time, we'll move it on to item number 2, Resolution R 2025-26, declaring support of the proposed transportation alternatives project and associated application form for sidewalks, curb ramps, and pedestrian crosswalks along North Wharton Street, which is FM 653.
Yeah, as the staff report indicates, the city is applying for funding through the TxDOT Transportation Alternative Program for sidewalks along FM 653 North Wharton. To do so, we are required to have this resolution of support, and that is what is included in the packet we ask for you to approve tonight.
Mayor, I move to approve Resolution R 2025-26 as presented.
We got a motion on the floor
I'll second the motion.
in a second.
I have a question, Eugene.
Question?
On the paragraph where it says specifically, the city commits to providing up to 20% local match for construction costs and acknowledges that project funding is awarded on a reimbursement basis. 20% of what, Kevin?
20% of the total cost of the project is $4.9 million.
4.9 million, okay. And where it says that we acknowledge that the project funding is awarded on a reimbursement basis, does that mean that if we don't commit these 20% of this funds, we may be overlooked?
The great thing is we're eligible for what is called transportation credits, which will take the entirety of that. So 0 cost.
Thanks,
Like we did on East Jackson.
Yes.
thanks,
And it's proposed to be taken over completely by TxDOT once awarded.
thanks.
Which side of Wharton Street is that on?
It's actually both sides all the way to Strand, and then that's right across from Friendship Park, and then on the east side all the way down to Jackson Street.
So it'll stop at Friendship Park?
Both sides will, the one on the west side will stop at Strand. The other side will continue all the way to East Jackson.
And does the way this work, y'all make an application for this and then,
Correct.
and when do you, what's the timeline associated with it?
I
You
have to
don't
have
know,
it
or-
submitted by June 20th.
Okay, and then when would you hear? Do you know?
Usually, I will get the letter back probably August to
Oh,
early
okay.
September
Okay.
that we've gotten that. That's how it worked in the 2023.
Kevin, who picked those locations? The only reason I ask, you got a lot of foot traffic from the middle school, and we're not going that far.
This is actually part of a bigger plan from TxDOT. They are wanting to move forward with an entire road, and these sidewalks are part of their plan. So once that comes in, they'll just tag them together.
Okay.
So Kevin, what do? Fill in those ditches?
They will be filling in the ditches, curb and gutter.
That's nice.
On their plan.
That'll
yes.
help us without not having to mow them.
Absolutely.
My
Plus,
goodness.
their plan is to have a 3-lane road.
Yeah.
And this helps them move forward with it.
Yeah, that'll save a lot of costs for the city to, just from not having to mow those ditches. That's timely.
And stress.
Yes.
That's correct. Okay, we got a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor? Motion passes to adopt resolution R 25-26. Moving on to item number 3, resolution R 2025-27, authorizing intervention in AEP Texas Inc.'s application to amend its rider mobile temporary emergency electric energy facilities before the commission, approving cooperation with the cities served by AEP Texas, hiring Lloyd Goslink, attorneys and consulting services to negotiate with the company and direct any necessary litigation and appeals, and requiring reimbursement of city's rate case expenses.
Yeah, and I'm bringing this to you because Lloyd Gosling has reached out to all of the cities in Texas to ask if they would like to be a part of the proceedings to lower AEP's proposed rate increase of around 60 cents per residential customer. If you participate and you have previously, don't make your decision based on that statement. It will not cost the city anything. You'll just be added in with the group that brings this proceedings forward. If you choose to elect in this process, you will need to pass Resolution 2025-27.
What is this recommendation for?
We're comfortable with you passing it. It doesn't cost us anything.
Mayor, I make a motion, we approve resolution 2025-27.
We got a motion on the floor. Anybody want to second that?
I'll second it.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yeah, I have a question. It's 60 cents is what it's gonna go up annually?
No monthly.
It's not costing us anything?
No, Roddy, you want to
Yeah,
walk them through how this works?
when they contest the rate case, if they're successful in any degree, whether it's a negotiated down rate or what have you, then the attorney's fees that this law firm incurs in order to be paid by AEP, which it gets passed on to the consumer. I mean, they're not gonna just pull it out of their own pocket. And they do get, AEP does get the authority to add that to your rate to repay those fees, so.
They throw it into the T&D rate?
Mhm.
So, yeah.
So, I mean, it's a great deal for Lloyd Gosling. I don't know really how effective it is for the city to be involved or not. Like Courtney said, it doesn't hurt
But
us.
it doesn't hurt, because
It
we're gonna
doesn't
get
hurt us to join,
If we don't join it, he's still gonna get paid.
other
Yep.
than whether AEP is gonna
That's
get,
right.
whether AEP is gonna get their feelings hurt about it, I don't know, does that matter? So,
They don't mind it.
so I don't think it matters.
Any other discussion? All right, we got a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor? Motion passes. Right. Moving on to,
The main event? Just kidding. I'm requesting, Mayor, that we pull item number 6.4, discussion regarding ordinance 2025-06 tonight, and we will bring that back on a future agenda. I don't need any action should you elect to pull that.
okay. Yep, we like to pull it, and we'll bring it back on future agenda. Moving on to item number 5. Considering to eliminate mailing of late penalty notices
Yeah.
for the water services.
Pretty self-explanatory, but I will read you what the staff report says as Brittany probably makes her way up here with her little, did you bring your little box? We have props, thought we'd make council meetings more interesting. Haley, get her walk-up song going. No, I'm just kidding. Staff is requesting council to consider eliminating the practice of mailing separate late penalties for overdue payments, primarily to reduce costs and also because people aren't receiving them. The past year, we mailed 10,115 late penalties. It cost around $8,800 in paper envelopes and postage alone. That does not include staff time. We called around to Bay City, Richmond, Deer Park. They all sent one. Wharton and Rosenberg sent both. We recommend that you discontinue mailing late penalty notices and explore alternative notification methods. This could take the form of email or online account alerts. We can look into the, obviously calls would be an option. We would be able to push a digital late notice so that they at least would have notice that they were late, but we're asking you to consider this. And I'll let you tell them what you have in your hands.
Okay. So every month we get a number of returned bills from the post office, marked for various reasons, from no such address to no mail receptacle to
It's like, oh Lord.
anything. So this is just what we've received so far for the month of May. The postmark dates from us range from January through March, May. Some came from last week from the late notices. They trickle in. We'll get them 6 months late. There's just various reasons. A lot of them are no such address, which they've had services for decades, and all of a sudden they're not being delivered. There's just a variety of reasons. We really don't know the rhyme or reason.
United States Postal Service.
So the girls do a really good job of trying every means possible. If we have a phone number, we try to call a customer. We try to resend them. We try to contact them. If it gets to a point, we'll have the guys leave door hangers to contact us. The majority of people, over half, we've pulled it for the past week. My poor clerks, I've had them doing tally marks for everyone that comes in, if they actually bring a bill or not, or if they just come in and give us an address. So far, 52% in the past week alone have just come up to the window and given us an address. They don't even bring a bill in. We have made a push towards electronic bills. A lot of people have switched over because they're not getting their mail. We don't get those back even, but they don't get their mail. They call upset, so they switched to electronic bills, which has been great. We still send out a lot of notices. On average, every month we send between 800 and 900 late notices, and then we're disconnecting probably about 150 accounts a month, which it has gone down a lot once we increase that fee. But I mean, there's still people that come in the day of paying. We are asking council to consider mailing one notice. So I called around to see what other cities were doing. I know we try to do our own thing, but I just kind of wanted to get a feel to see if it was just us that were wanting this. As of now, Wharton does postcards still. They do cycle billing, so they send multiple cycles a month based on a zone there. They are still doing two notices. They want to do this, but they don't think they can get there. Rosenberg still sends 2, but they also send, when I talk to some of the other cities, they send 1. They don't have any issues. They moved years ago. I know that within Encode, as long as we have a valid phone number, we can do a robocall we can push. It's 10 cents a call as of now. I think there's an option for a text message alert as well. I don't know what that fee is, but I can find out.
10 cents a call, what would that be?
10 cents a call. It just depends on how many have phone numbers with us. So, I mean, 800 would be what,
$80
A month?
Yeah.
So $960 a year instead of $8,000?
Yeah. So, I mean, we're just asking.
Is there anything legally that, it's up to council?
Yes.
Yeah, it's just
Totally
a
up to
policy
council.
decision. So, I mean, when you do get, and this may be helpful. When you do get your regular bill, it already has, if you pay after this date and time, it's this amount. So you already know you have until this date to pay and what it increased to. And we can add any kind of verbiage and a note on there. You know, we're happy to do whatever you want us to. It's just,
That's what I was gonna suggest, just put it on their bill.
Yeah.
it's already on there.
Yes.
It's already on there.
I mean, I don't, giving them another notice, it's on the bill.
Yeah.
I mean, duh. You don't pay your bill, you get disconnected.
How do we make a motion on this with no resolution? Mayor, I move to eliminate mailing of late penalty notices.
That'll work. You take it?
I'll second that.
We got a motion and second on the floor.
I'll say, there is probably still a generation that
Mhm.
probably needs something. I would like to look into the text and or the robocall.
Okay.
As long as it's traceable. So like, you don't want a robocall and like, well, I never got the call.
Right.
Whereas
Right.
like the text message, you can say, and then of course, you know, you'll have administrative stuff. If they don't get the text, you'll have to say, well, update your text, you know, and I don't want to make this a bigger issue of updating phone numbers and things, because I know those change a lot more than email addresses and
Well,
addresses do.
I mean, honestly, it's something we kind of need because if there's a leak or an issue, we have no way of contacting them.
That's- yeah.
Like, we have to turn it off, leave a door hanger, wait for them to come home, and at the end of the day, most people get home after hours, so our guys are going out after hours then.
And you know, I'm assuming that this almost $9,000 is budgeted somewhere, so
Yes.
saving it all would be great, but spending some of it to
Right.
let the older generation know perhaps.
Most people don't have landlines anymore.
No.
And most people, if it shows up on their phone and they don't recognize it, they're not gonna answer it.
Right.
So that's
And,
why
and,
text would be
and a
nice.
spam text, you know, they could always be looked at as a spam text too, but at least you can say, and through social media, you can say, if you don't pay your bill, we're gonna send you a text.
Well, aren't you guys already sending something on text? There's something that, or an
Yeah.
email or text or something we get for utility bills, I guess if your number's registered, right?
Mhm.
Is that how y'all do it? Okay.
Yes, if it's
So
registered.
so it wouldn't be that difficult for y'all to do that?
Mhm.
Okay.
So my next question is, do you want us to go ahead and move forward with it? Just put like an insert in this next bill saying you will no longer receive a late.
Yeah, we are
payment?
Yes, I
Yeah.
agree with
Please-
that,
Please
yes.
update all contact information.
I agree.
Okay,
Okay.
we'll report back on this at the quarterly reports to let you know how that goes.
And I do like the text deal, like with.
Okay.
I think we need to make
Yeah.
some sort of effort.
No,
Yeah.
not yet.
We'll include that this month.
Okay, we got a motion and a second, and we had some discussion. All in favor, say aye. Raise your right hand. All right, motion
Thank you.
passes.
Last item is you, Mayor.
All right, at this time, we're gonna move into committee appointments, so,
It's all you, Mayor.
all right. Appreciate everybody that has been on committees in the past. We'll continue to do the same. We have changed council member, District number 1, and we got Jeff on board now. And welcome back, Jeff, again.
Thank you.
So, anyways, I'm gonna read out, everything's gonna stay the same. I can read it all, or y'all can take a look at it. The only thing that's gonna change is Jeff Allgaier is gonna come in where Steve left off at, which is blighted building ordinance review, if Jeff agrees to it. And also the Economic Development Committee, I'd like to add Jeff on there with Mr. Hancock and Mr. Hodges. So, Jeff, you okay with all that?
Yep,
And the
sounds good.
comprehensive plan oversight committee too.
Yes. Comprehensive,
I think a page break got you on that one.
Yeah, it looks like it did. Got me too.
yep, I did not get that one, okay. So,
Okay, we will make those changes.
all right.
It's your appointment, Mayor.
That is it, and I believe at this time,